Hello everyone, welcome to another lesson in our passing chord series. So today we're going to be doing is something a little bit different. We're going to talk about chord substitution. Looking at the different kind of chords we have learned how to use in this series. We've talked about dominant chords. We've talked about half diminished chords. So I'm going to show you how to substitute those two chords in this lesson. So for you to really understand and not be lost in everything, you need to know what a dominant chord is, how to use it, and the same for half diminished chord. So if you have not followed our lesson or you don't know what those chords are, you can check out the lessons in our series. Alright, so now it's going to be simple, short, and straightforward. Alright, but before I show you how to use those chords, I want to show you why you can use or why you can substitute those two chords. They are very, very, very similar actually. Now, this is a dominant chord. This is C dominant, and this is C half diminished. Right, so if you look at the C dominant and the C half diminished, they actually have only two notes in common, right? So the first and the seventh. Alright, but we are not going to be substituting the C dominant for the C half diminished. It works a bit different. So let me just say this: when you're looking at how to substitute passing chords, you need to look for two passing chords, two different passing chords that lead to the same note or the same chord. For instance, this C dominant seventh chord leads to where it's the secondary dominant of F major if we're playing on key of C. So it leads us to F major. Right? So now if you want to substitute this C dominant chord for a half diminished chord, you need to think that what half diminished chord also leads me to F major. And based on what we talked about in the lesson, I showed you how to use the E half diminished chord, and that's this. And I said this leads us to F major. See how it's resolved so well. So we can see that both the C dominant and the E half diminished leads us to one chord, and that's F major. So that means you can easily substitute these two chords. So that's the principle we're going to be working with in this lesson. That's literally just, if you just understand this, you can go on your own and literally start exploring. You understand? So two different chords, or a dominant chord and a half diminished chord that lead to the same chord, can easily be interchanged. Alright, so let's look at a popular example. Let's take Amazing Grace, how sweet. That was a dominant chord. The sound, da 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 da, like me. Okay, that saved the wretch like me. Yeah. So let's look at the chords. C major, Amazing Grace, C dominant to F major, how sweet, right? The sound. So because the C dominant came before F major, we can substitute that chord. We can change it up playing the C dominant. We can play, like I said, an E half diminished chord there and change it, play a chord substitution there. Instead of C dominant, play E half diminished to your Fa. You understand? So let's try it. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Then the second part, that saved a wretch. That's a D dominant, right? D dominant seventh, like me, to our 5. So if we're going to play a half diminished passing chord to the 5, we're going to play F half diminished, right? And F sharp rather, and that's going to be this. You understand? So Amazing Grace, half diminished, how sweet that saved a wretch like me. So you see, we were able to substitute the chord, and it still sounds so well. And I mean, the chords sound so alike, right? You wouldn't even notice there was a substitution. Alright, so that's just easily how you can substitute. So you can substitute a C dominant for E half diminished. You can substitute a D dominant, right, for, this leads us to our G major. You can substitute that for F sharp half diminished, right? So you can substitute if you want to play a dominant to do, that's your normal primary dominant, you would play a G dominant, right? Play something like this. You can substitute that for a B half diminished. And that's how this chord substitution works. So it's very, very easy, very easy to understand and apply, and you can use it to spice up your play. But now let's look further at why this substitution is actually possible and why it sounds so well. Now let's compare these two chords we have been looking at. Let's look at the C. This is C dominant, right? So let's look at the notes. How many notes does this chord have? Just 4 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's C, E, G, B flat, right? Now let's look at the second note, the E half diminished. We have E, G, B flat, D. Now if you were to compare these two chords, this is still my dominant, just inverse. So let's compare these two chords and look at what notes do they have in common. They both have 4 notes. So how many notes do they have in common? You would see, okay, we have a B flat here, we also have a B flat here, we have a C here, we do not have a C here, we have E, and we have G, and we have G. So you see that out of 4 notes, when you are substituting a dominant for a half diminished, they actually have, those two chords will have 3 notes in common. So that's why the substitution sounds so well and sounds literally the same. You understand? So that's why this substitution can work, because they are very, very similar chords. These two different chords that lead to the same notes have 3 notes in common, and it's kind of like a diminished. You can think of it like the E diminished chord is common with those two chords. In E half diminished, you can see E diminished, and also in C dominant, you can still see E diminished. Alright, so that is what makes this substitution possible. The same thing you can, understand it with the other chord, the D dominant, and this, exactly the same thing. 3 chords, 3 notes rather, in common. So I hope you understood everything so far. So now, you don't always have to actually substitute these chords. You don't always have to substitute it. There's something I like doing, or I prefer doing instead of substitution. Actually, you can play both of them together. So if you were to play both a C dominant and E half diminished, it will actually give you a C dominant flat 9. Okay, not a flat 9, a 9, a C dominant 9. It should have been a flat 9. That's the normal diminished 7th. Alright, so this gives us a dominant 9 chord. When you combine those chords, let me explain what I mean. This is C dominant, right? And this is E half diminished. So look at the chord. If you take away the notes they have in common, you are actually just adding only 1 note that's not originally in the dominant chord. And if you understand, so when you play a diminished chord, half diminished rather, the only notes you're playing here that's not in the dominant is just the last note. So it's just like you play, so it's just a dominant 9, or we can play it like this. So it's like a chord extension of the dominant chord. So you could play Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Alright? So where I use it most times when I play, maybe if I want to play a passing chord from my 3 to my 6. So you can easily do a dominant, right? Play your 3 as a dominant 7 to your 6. And you can do something like this also. So how about you play both of it together and do like, right? So a dominant 9 passing chord to the 6. That actually works well, or works better with a diminished 7th. If you play diminished 7th here, well, I know I've not explained the diminished 7th yet, so we'll do that in the next lesson, and also you can apply it this way. So that's like chord substitution and chord extension. Kind of, you can substitute it or just play together and extend your chords. You are playing just one chord actually with a ninth. So I think this was this was simple enough. I hope you were able to understand it. You can apply it on whatever key you want. It's just a simple concept. So cheers, thanks for watching. See you in our next lesson.